Member Caldwell, I note you only have 1 minute left. You are not the opener of the debate.
Aim must always be to give effect to the intention of Parliament as expressed in words used. And so the task of ascertaining the intention of Parliament, it demands an understanding that the intention of Parliament is an objective concept. It is not subjective. When we refer to the intention of Parliament, which is really to understand what it is that we're passing, this is to something that is objective and what we can reasonably impute to Parliament in respect of the language used. It is not the subjective intention of the minister or other persons who promote the legislation.
Good night, Sonia.
Nor is it the subjective intention of the draftsman or of individual members, or even a majority of individual members of either house. And so there is no escaping looking at what the words say and what we draft. Madam Speaker, this bill, as the Prime Minister has said, is the most consequential piece of legislation that is to be passed. And he invited all of us to approach the consideration of the bill. And so, we can't really rush it too much, even though time is of the essence. And I have a full appreciation of what the Prime Minister is seeking to achieve. I do not believe that anyone who has spoken has taken issue with the goals that are being pursued. But the concerns are whether the bill in its form will achieve those goals. Madam Speaker, the
Good night, Sonia Mills,
authority
Sharon, Winnie,
is to be constituted according, the clause 3 establishes the authority, and it tells us how it is to be constituted in accordance with the schedule. Now, some have taken issue with whether there is going to be a board or there isn't going to be a board, and the Prime Minister in his presentation indicated that we have other models in the jurisdiction where there is no board, and that is true. Under the Town and Country Planning Act, for example, there is provided for a planning authority, a Town and Country Planning Authority, and under that act, and this is an act of 1958, section 3(1) tells you that for the purposes of the act, the minister shall appoint a person or persons to be a Town and Country Planning Authority, and subject to the provisions of the act, and from time to time, by order, published in the Gazette, define the composition, powers, and duties of such authority. So it is true.
Hello?
Not going to stay long too. What did she do in the house today?
Try to shut up Philip Paul. Him rebel out in the man. After Flight Green give him 10 minutes, Juliet one can give him 6 minutes.
So when do?
He get up and talk in the Parliament, say him appeal it. So she finally give it to him.
That woman, she must be need a man. What's wrong with her?
They should have one man. You remember, she have a man in a 2020. She get up on political sitting and talk. Say our man, say our man hard and stiff. Don't forget that.
Oh, she was talking to Andrew.
Yeah, it look like it easy to forget. You remember she come and tell
No,
me say,
darling, I told you, Auntie Jen, I only getting involved because of Mark Golden.
oh, yeah man, 2020 she come out and talk big and bold. Say our man hard and stiff.
But it's not everything. She's a nasty piece of woman. As a lady, is supposed to be a lady of the of the West in for Jamaica. And she don't forget she did lift up her. At one thing I did see when I wasn't so key, I think Portia something, and she was at a meeting when she lift up her dress. I see that.
A careless girl.
Yes, careless market girl in it.
Careless girl.
Yeah, so she be a bad, so Paul will get his way.
So Paul will get up and say, I appeal what she the decision. So then did it till they come back and Floyd Green get up and say him they give him the okay. At least Floyd Green never take side with her today. I think they get tired of her too.
She thinks she's the boss, don't worry, it won't be long,
Yeah.
Election going to call this year. This year the election going to call. Because Andrew never win, and she went down there and buy out a lot of vote, go in a graveyard, go look for a dead name. So, that's how it will be, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Did I tell you I lost a good friend?
No.
Yeah, man, not this Sunday, gone, the previous Sunday.
Yeah.
Well, how I get to know, she talking to her brother in FaceTime.
Mm-hmm.
An hour later, she was over the wheel, the steering wheel.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he called his son to go and look, they rushed her to the hospital.
Wow.
Her pressure was 350 and half of the brain dead.
Right.
And she died Friday gone.
Oh my goodness.
Good. She's a Guyanese Indian, but oh God, we've been friends for 15 years.
Sad to hear.
Sometimes I'm in the market, I have to run from her. If I try to get anything, I have to go and throw the money at her and run away.
Oh my.
Really good friend. I got 4 good friends in Barbados. And I cried so bad for over 2 days.
Oh
she's
my.
She's a nice Guyanese,
Sad to
really
hear.
nice.
Sad to hear, really.
Yeah, man, it's sad, but I know I can't catch myself that she gone,
Yeah.
She's about 50. She's about 55.
Wow.
Yes, massive brain dead. The doctor said if they operate, she's going to die.
Mm-hmm.
So they did everything for her, but she's. I don't think she would want to live during that condition.
Wow.
Anyway, darling, no matter about that, lady, she was going to get what she's waiting for. I see them go up in the air and they come back down. You hear me?
True.
Jamaica is suffering right now here.
Yeah.
If one who got a little bit of change, they better hold on tight to it.
Yeah.
Because they soon charge you now for driving. They're going to use it as a COVID experience to charge you. When you go to the petrol station, you won't get no petrol to buy soon.
That'll happen.
Oh, mighty God. And you make Jamaica my country. Eh? And you make Jamaica gone to the dogs. Anyway, I'm glad that what is name that didn't agree with her. What is name?
Oh, that Parliamentary.
Yeah, but who didn't agree with Juliet?
Floyd Green.
Oh God, the white come Floyd Green. Maybe he don't like her.
No, because he might try to tell her say he did already give them the permission. So him come back and he explain it. So at least she's a disgrace in the house.
I don't watch it because I can't take and putting my people down. So I don't watch the house.
Oh.
I would go on station who is watching it, like the PNP, and give them a like, and make a little, I don't even comment, I just give a like and turn over, just to make them thing go up. You understand?
Yeah.
Otherwise, I do not listen to them, Auntie Jen. I really respect you here, my darling.
Thank you.
You're a nice lady. I wish I didn't know you many years ago beside politics, Okay. Take care.
Thank you.
Love you.
All right.
Love you.
Yeah. Claudette, good night. Jesse, good night. Vian, good night. We are going to use to say, Vian, we're going to use to say, you remember the word there, what a caca, when dishcloth turn tablecloth. Me know what you mean. Mansa, good night.
Good night, Jen. Listen, I give a break.
So we're not going to get a break. We're not going to get a break. You see, when we see something at a bun with, so since that, me feel like nobody come and say, sure, me go later, because you the little off the on me. So, me nearly do that. And I said, no, man, I have to come here tonight and talk about Juliet Holiness bad, nasty, dirty behavior in the parliament.
I never see it. I never see that. But I hear about, I watch a next live a while ago, and they talk about this Nara bill.
Yeah.
And problems that are for Jamaica me hear them discuss it.
Yeah.
On that live there a while ago. Problems that are for Jamaica because Andrew even put in a secrecy. You not listening to that?
Me not listen all of it, but me I gonna listen it all show. Yeah, me not listen all of it because I wasn't here all day.
Okay.
And then again, if me that one, my light go off after me come off my platform this morning. Pass them down the road, go back again, and then still way up in the after 5 we get back light. So me couldn't me have one like a full power station, and by the time I plug in the something there, it just there.
Yeah.
So me need one good power station.
Yeah.
So me not get for listening, but me I go listen it.
Me not get for listen at the platform. I just scroll and listen before I join on your platform. And them I say like even cut Mark Golding time to about 25 minutes. Because them know me that go through the bill and them thing there. But Andrew have a secrecy thing in the bill.
That's why Juliet Holiness come at the parliament today. Ready? We can't, them something I can't write. There's something I can't write.
Fergie come now the book. I mean, say you must go through the bill, you must listen to the
me not listen to it, so
parliament.
Me have to go listen to it and then tomorrow.
Come in, Fergie. Because when me hear upon this sound,
but me not say Fergie. Me not say Fergie.
No man, me not see. Me I say it might be my listen upon YouTube, because sometimes I listen upon YouTube too.
Yeah.
When me hear car platform, I discuss it right now before me jump on here live, and a whole heap of thing, the thing they did Nara, what them I say on the platform is that with them here in a parliament, Nara can't take anybody land. Any land, no court can't stop them to this Nara thing with Andrew. I mean, no, you know.
It not go work, man. They set it away for the opposition, for oppose the few people that blame opposition. It's a trick
But
to
the
you know.
opposition,
But the opposition cannot agree with Nara.
Cannot agree. They cannot agree. And
Every minute they change up. They carrying Sparks, then carrying Reed. No, they want to change to Nara.
Jen, this thing to when me here on a platform a while ago, any land. So even though you might have your paperwork and everything, your title and everything, and you have the land for how much, maybe all centuries you have the land they passed down to you. If Nara pass in the present farm with Andrew them can't take your land. No court can't stop them, nothing at all.
But them intending to do it for you, they may start to give people them house and tell so them can't get nobody can't get you back. After them build a house for it. So I sitting with them having their intent. But you know what? Mrs. Somebody put up today, one labor right put up and said, God Almighty know, oh, then sorry, them did vote for him September 3. Oh, I say?
Mm-hmm.
Me know say Anna no PMP I put it there. I want labor right.
Me see a labor right woman when name she the overseas. She name wife something on it up on TikTok. What me forgot her full wife something on TikTok. She and her man always a talk to her man away when she the overseas, but she the back at Jamaica now. And me see she put out video. She put out video and say Andrew just get the Prime Minister thing.
Happy wife here talk.
You see it too?
Yeah man.
What's your name?
Happy wife.
Happy wife, yeah, happy wife. A couple of years now, me didn't even block her one night time to find out she labor right, You see me, so I don't know she pop up back for me thing, You see me? She make video. And she just turned Prime Minister for rich, for make himself rich, him and him family. And she a big labor right.
Yeah. 1 minute. Vian said, Auntie, me cost 13 all day. Mark should go on the street tomorrow, explain everything what Nara is about. No man, them are gonna talk about it. Auntie Jane, I like your cornrow. It make you look young. All right now, when you come to New York, you might find your other date. What is this, One date over there, wait for you hear them or something? You hear them sitting there, man, sir? When we go to New York, me go find one date.
The bill deadly, and Mark have to become like get like how the Porsche spirit, and if you ever take the country and shut down the country,
me go back on the platform and look for when Mark attack and see.
That what the bill is seeking to do by way of model already exists in the jurisdiction.
The bill, when we hear the bill, because them even can't take maroon lands now, the agreement.
That is one of the main things for the Nara.
I tell you, from me here, because I don't know if I hear a platform in the Panama, from me say Nara, because you have the Works Agency, you have NH. If you say you want to build back, the West will get damaged by the hurricane.
Alright, we are going to make on
NHT.
West Said Catherine on education. Opposition spokesperson on education next week.
Listen,
Madam Speaker, today we will resume the debate on the National Reconstruction and Resilience Authority Act 2026. We ask members who have not yet spoken.
Not at all, Vian.
Their opportunity to contribute to that debate.
Mark, I go start now, so make we listen, Mark.
First is the leader of the opposition. The member will commence. Turn your mic on, and orderlies, can you take the podium?
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I rise to make my contribution in the debate on the National Reconstruction and Resilience Authority Bill 2026 that was tabled by the Prime Minister. The original bill was tabled during his budget debate presentation that was withdrawn last week, Tuesday. A new bill was tabled and he opened the debate last week, Tuesday, on the new bill. Madam Speaker, the opposition recognizes the need for special efforts to contribute to the reconstruction of Jamaica, especially after the terrible damage inflicted on our country by Hurricane Melissa. We are painfully aware that Jamaicans continue to suffer from inadequate shelter, damaged housing. Small businesses and other businesses have had similar losses to their businesses and their working capital, their stock, and are distressed that more has not been done to bring some kind of help and support to those who need it. We are aware that the ROOS program has been ruled out, funded out of the budget of 25-26, the $10 billion allocation. However, it is inadequate both in its scope, because it does not reach and will not reach many who need that help, and in its depth, because those who do get help will get inadequate support from the limits that apply to it, and also the deficiencies in the administrative arrangements, which have made it very challenging for persons who have sought to access the benefits. But NARA is not about providing solutions to the present needs of those people who are suffering. NARA is really a revamped attempt to inject higher levels of growth into the economy of Jamaica. That is primarily what it is about. If you actually look at the bill, other than the preamble, which does not become a permanent part of the legislation, there is no reference in the bill to Melissa or to any hurricane.
What?
And if you look at its provisions, it is really about the government trying to find a way of achieving meaningful rates of economic growth after a decade of failure to do so. Jamaica has been categorized by low levels, very low levels of real economic growth over the past decade. And despite promises like 5 in 4, which were spectacular failures, where 5% real GDP growth was to have been achieved after 4 years, nothing like that was achieved. We've had periods of negative economic growth because of shocks to the economy and so on, but there's been no structural shift in the design of our economy that would enable our economy to deliver high levels of growth. We're also mindful of the role that the bureaucracy plays in delaying projects and the frustrations that come with that. And NARA is an attempt to address that issue in a particular way. So I understand the underlying philosophy that has given rise to NARA and the desire to provide a legislative solution to the lethargic rates of economic growth that have been bedeviling Jamaica's economic development, and also the bureaucratic entanglements that the government has found it difficult to find ways to navigate through efficiently. However, given the role that NARA will play as the major construct for the allocation of substantial resources to public projects, and also as an adjunct to that, its role in facilitating private sector investment as well, especially given how broadly that is now being framed, because originally the projects that we had anticipated being included in these arrangements were projects of 150 million US up. And when the bill came last week, the Prime Minister had changed his tune on that and reduced that by to a tenth of the original figure, to 15 million US, which means that a vast array of projects are going to be potentially eligible for inclusion under the NARA regime.
Aye, Glassford.
And this means that the governance arrangements are absolutely critical going forward for the people of Jamaica and for investors and for our international partners to have confidence in this new construct called NARA, the governance arrangements, the transparency of its operations, the accountability of the persons who are reposed with responsibility for executing its functions, all of these are vital. And this is where the bill falls well and seriously short of what is required. The fact of the matter is that NARA is a statutory body without a statutory board.
Really?
It's an aberration.
What?
Insofar as it is creating a legal entity with the powers that a legal entity have without the governance arrangements that are normal and necessary to ensure proper governance.
No, me understand it, man. No, me understand.
And I will speak to that in greater detail.
No, me understand what Andrea aim for.
Madam Speaker, I propose to approach this today really as I almost close my clause analysis, because I think that is the easiest way for me to get through the points that I want to raise. I notice in the definition clause, which is clause 2, the definition of public body excludes executive agencies.
Man, sir. Me just listen to hear what Mark said. No oversight with the new NARA. Me know something up to hey, because I know the brother yesterday, and I read that about last night.
Under NARA, in relation to approving entities, will not apply to bodies such as NEPA or PICA, the National Land Agency, National Works Agency.
What?
I'm not sure why
what
that decision was made, because those bodies, and there are many others, are significant, but that is the effect of the way in which approving entity has been defined.
No, opposition, and I can't sit down and make it go on.
Definitions in tandem. The list of things that an approving entity is responsible for, which is in the definition there, said it includes functions related to a number of things: physical planning, roads, highways, etc. I raise the question because the word including is used and before the list of functions is set out. I wanted to know whether this would include other things that are not in this list, such as permits and licenses that may be needed by the designated strategic.
Well, listen, people are listening. It's important for listen to this.
Licenses to operate a casino or gaming facility, hotel or resort licenses.
Choose your location, select or build your favorite pizza. Once you're happy, click add to order. Enter your details, choose your pay.
Energy facilities and so on. These things, I'm not sure whether or not it's intended that the definition of approving entity would extend to those types of regulated functions, because the language used in the definition says that the list that's provided there is not a exhaustive list. It is just a list of things that happen to be included. And I think that's very important and needs to be clarified. In the definition of goods in section 2, clause 2 of the bill, it speaks to goods means things of every kind and description, whether tangible or intangible. That's a very peculiar definition, Madam Speaker. Intangibles are the antithesis of goods. And to say that goods extends to intangibles is very peculiar, and I think that needs to be reconsidered. I note that in section 4, there are lots of references to projects. And again, because the bill isn't consistent in its language, it isn't clear to me whether the projects referred to in section 4, which are the projects that
have a level
the
playing field,
authority is responsible for dealing with.
What kind of law no one put in to override the authorship of this country?
And resilience projects, which are
We see with in foolishness.
section 17.
We see, right there, so me don't watch and me just
other
stop
projects
watching.
that are not on the cabinet's official list of projects. I think if there was consistency in the language, it would be clear whether NARA is limited to these approved projects that are on the Section 17 cabinet list, cabinet approved list, and the private sector projects which are designated under another provision, or whether other projects may also be pursued by NARA. I think that needs to be made clear. Madam Speaker, in the subsection 2 of clause 2, there is a provision that allows the minister by order to alter a definition of works.
What?
And that order is not subject to affirmative resolution.
What?
I think it is wrong that a minister can effectively alter a statute passed by Parliament through the House and the Senate without coming back to Parliament for approval of that amendment. And I think subsection 2 of
I hope Jamaica people are listening. Take them to court.
Madam Speaker, when you look at clause 3 of the bill, which is the one that establishes it as a statutory body to which Section 28 of the Interpretation Act applies, it's not an executive agency, it's a statutory body. It can sue, and if it's sued in its own name, it can own property and so on. That's what the Interpretation Act allows.
What?
There are no objects or purposes stated in the law, in this bill, in relation to what NARA is about. And if you look at
that then one
1B2 of
that is why my head for.
It says that the cabinet may designate a project as a strategic investment project if the project contributes to the achievement of the purposes of this act. But there's nowhere in the act which clearly sets out what the purposes of the act are. And I think there should be. If you look in the memorandum on objects of objects and reasons in the, which was not strictly speaking part of the legislation, but is there to guide parliamentarians and others as to what is intended. There are set out in A, B, C, and D of the memorandum on objects and reasons some basic purposes for which this legislation is being passed. And I think that those ought to be incorporated without this specific references to a particular disaster, but those ought to be incorporated in the bill, perhaps in section 3.
Not in it for no hurricane, not in it for no emergency.
But would also set out the purposes and objects for which
people land, they can't just go in and go take land. No.
Omission from the bill. There's a reference in 3.2 to the schedule, which is, they say, shall have effect as the constitution and procedure of the authority. And when you look at it, that's quite a normal way
of them are thief in there.
Our legislation
Bird of a feather.
Dealing with statutory bodies. The schedule was set out, basically what would be the equivalent of the articles of a company as to how it should function procedurally. But all that is addressed in the schedule to this bill relates to the CEO of the authority, nothing else. So it really doesn't, the schedule does not have effect as to the constitution and procedure of the authority. It really only governs the CEO. And that is extraordinary. There's no provision, as I've said, for any board of the authority, for any audit committee, for an internal auditor, for any risk management functions, anything of that nature. And this is an entity that is going to be responsible for administering and managing the expenditure of billions and billions of US dollars.
No.
To understand, both from the public sector side, but also to facilitate private sector investors as well through speeded up, expedited procedures.
No, we're not accepting NARA.
When I spoke last week, I said this bill ought to go to a joint select committee. And it should. Even if you
none at all
require that joint select committee
I urge
to
you.
complete its deliberations within a finite period of time, perhaps a month, because of the urgency of this, it needs to have the benefit of interventions and contributions from stakeholders, from the wider society that have a strong interest in this. Madam Speaker, I noticed in clause 4, which sets out functions of the authority, it doesn't make any reference to designated strategic investment projects. Now, that's strange because the authority does have a role to play in relation to designated strategic investment projects, which are the private sector projects. But in the functions of the authority set out in clause 4, there's no reference to them. And that is odd. And there are numerous references, as I said earlier, to the word project, but there's no definition of the word projects in the bill. There are references later on to these approved reconstruction resilience projects, and there's references to designated strategic investment projects, but they're in clause 4, they're just references to projects, and you don't know what the scope of that is, and it's not clear what is intended.
Criminal them.
Madam Speaker, I know that there's no provision providing for any exemption for duties and GCT on materials imported by NARA.
Exactly, Fergie.
I don't normally, one would expect to see something of that nature in a body that's being established as a public body to undertake works of this nature. There's no provision for that. It isn't even clear to me whether NARA is intended to implement projects as such. In the previous version of the bill, the first version, it specifically stated that, NARA would implement projects, but in the bill that's before us now, it isn't that clear. It talks about that they shall procure goods, works, and services for the implementation of projects, programs, and plans, but it doesn't specifically say that NARA is the implementation agency for these projects and on the public sector side. And I think that needs to be added. We also need provisions that speak to, in the functions, speak to prudence, efficiency, and transparency in expending public resources. That should be there. There should be reference to those things. Value for money in procurement, that should be mentioned. Risk management functions, that should be mentioned. Fairness in the procurement and hiring practices, that's a particular matter of concern to the opposition. We would like to see a principle embodied in the legislation of non-discrimination for political affiliation or other characteristics like religion, ethnicity, and so on. That is missing as well. There needs to be in this because of the level of resources that will be expended by this. Subsection 3 of Section 4 says that for the purpose of performing its functions under the Act, the authority may...
Good question, Fergie. I don't understand it either. But just listen to Mark and we're going to discuss it.
Any transaction which, in the opinion of the authority,
pay criminal intention they have, man. Pay criminal intention.
And that effectively means that the CEO can unilaterally decide the scope and boundaries of its activities, because the CEO is the only required employee.
We ever hear that?
But the CEO is the only
with government project
who has real authority under this legislation within the construct of NARA itself. And it says that he, before she, can do anything and enter into any transaction which, in the opinion of the authority, which means his or her opinion, is necessary to ensure the performance. Madam Speaker, I turn to clause 5, which deals with the appointment of the Chief Executive Officer. The law is not clear as to who the Chief Executive Officer reports to. There is a reporting section where the minister can require reports, but that's a different thing from a management perspective and a governance perspective. Who does the CEO report to? It's not clear. How is the CEO's deliverables decided? What are the key performance indicators applicable to the authority and to the CEO's functions? Nothing at all on this. it says that in section 10 that NARA reports to the Prime Minister, but there's
It looks
nothing
obvious.
about the CEO's
Maybe I
reporting
should.
responsibility, and that is a big issue. Madam Speaker, clause 6 of the bill says that the authority and the chief executive officer, the CEO, can, with the minister's approval, delegate to any person the performance of such of their functions other than the power of delegation, as they may from time to time consider necessary. Now, this power of delegation is significant because any functions can be delegated. The question is, what transparency will arise in relation to delegated functions? You know, important functions could end up being delegated to third parties on terms which are not disclosed, as costs that we are not aware of. There should be a report on all delegated functions by the CEO, and that report should be sent to Parliament on a timely basis. Transparency demands that. Clause 7 talks about the minister's ability to, but there is no provision in the bill in relation to this committee that the Prime Minister spoke to, called JAMROC, which he says is the equivalent of EPOC. Now, EPOC had no responsibilities for oversight of any operating entity that is expending zillions of dollars.
This is why they hate you, Mark Golding, because you're brilliant.
A large number. A large number. EPOC's responsibility was to get data from the Ministry of Finance and the Bank of Jamaica on Jamaica's economic performance and report to the public on how Jamaica was faring in complying with its commitments under the IMF agreement. So it was a reporting function based on data that was made available to it as to whether Jamaica was on track. This is a totally different function. There's no comparison. This is like a massive conglomerate being operated by a single officer, a CEO, with no board and no proper oversight. It's wrong. This bill ought to establish a board along the lines that JAMROC is intended to follow, and that board should be the board to which the CEO reports. And there should be proper governance provisions in the schedule as to how that board operates and clear lines of oversight and accountability. JAMROC has no legal powers and is not a legal construct. It cannot effectively provide oversight or ensure accountability within NARA. It has no legal authority and it doesn't exist in law. And to suggest otherwise is very misleading to the public. I turn to clause 8 of the bill, and it deals with the funds.
Similar to you, exactly where my setup. Similar to you.
May from time to time be placed at its disposition for the purpose of this act by Parliament. I assume, and I'd like it to be clarified, that what that is saying then is that NARA's resources from public resources would have to come through an appropriation act. It would have to be included in the budget of the country or any supplementary budget. And I was wondering about the various disaster risk financing arrangements that the government has put in place. There are two statutory funds. There's a disaster fund and a national disaster fund. There are the insurance arrangements with CRIF. There are the catastrophe bonds which have been entered into and so on. And I was wondering what is the mechanism by which those resources would be made available to NARA? Is it intended to be automatic that they are the ones who expend those resources? Or will it be on an ad hoc basis? I think it would be useful to have a clearer understanding of that. I turn to clause 10. And it says that the authority shall furnish the minister with such reports, returns, accounts, and other information as the minister may require. Now, supposing the minister doesn't require any reporting, or doesn't require any formal reporting, written reports. This is
Them people
cannot be
are government,
the
them people are
reporting
really intent for
obligation to put it on this discretionary basis. The CEO should be required to prepare semi-annual reports, which the minister should table in Parliament, and the CEO should be required by law to attend Parliament twice a year, like the Bank of Jamaica's governor is now, under the Bank of Jamaica Act, to answer questions in relation to those reports. That's what transparency demands. The clause 11, which deals with reporting, speaks to annual and other reports shall be prepared by the authority. And it says a copy of the annual reports and audit financial statements should be submitted within 4 months of the financial year to the minister, and then the minister shall, within a reasonable time. Why a reasonable time? Why not a specific time?
Yeah. Why not a specific time? What kind of reasonable time?
This is definitely the vibe that you need to go for. I love the fact that it has this leopard print right here on this.
Reports to update the nation on the progress through Parliament of the challenges being faced, how those challenges are being addressed. There's a complete absence of proper oversight for this body. Clause 12 speaks to the need to submit to the approval of the minister by the September 30th of each year a corporate plan, an operating plan, and its estimates of revenue and expenditure for the financial year. I assume it means the next financial year. I was wondering whether this is subject to the Ministry of Finance's role in finalizing budgets in the normal way that there's a budget call and the statutory bodies, ministries, etc., well, central government bodies submit their proposals for funding, and then the Ministry of Finance essentially scours all of the resources that are available and decides what is actually affordable. Is that process going to apply to NARA or not? It's not clear to me from the wording of Clause 12 whether that will happen. I move to Clause 13 of the bill, and it says the minister may give directions to the authority. We are accustomed to seeing laws which say that the minister can give directions as to general policy to a public body within the minister's portfolio. This is not like that. These are operating directions. The directions under subsection 1 shall be such as the minister appears desirable in the interest of effective performance by the authority of its functions, and to ensure, well, I'm not sure if it's and or because that's not stated, to ensure that approved reconstruction and resilience projects and designated strategic investment projects are implemented in accordance with the terms of Cabinet's approval and the public interest. So the minister has a direct, intrusive role in the operation of NARA. And there's nothing to require directions to be in writing, to be gazetted, so that the public is aware of them. Again, all of these directions that the minister is giving in this body, this critical body, there should be transparency around those directions. There should be a report on semi-annually to Parliament on what directions have been given by the minister to this body, so that the public knows what is going on. Yeah, I need some more.
Time has expired. Next speaker. You don't get extension. You don't get extension. I don't know.
So let me pause this a little bit now. So that I better understand what we're talking about. The bill now have no accountability. How can a person say they love their country and all of them like a scheme you want to work with? Peer scheme and generalship. Tell me. Somebody tell me. Type in the comment. How? Yeah, me did that. Me put out one video with it yesterday, you know, with she a cuss him out. The man not deal right, man. Mm-hmm. And nobody can question him about nothing.
We'll allow the leader of the opposition 10 minutes, and members, for the other members, you will have to operate within the designated time period. Also,
Let me pause it. So man say you hear it now. You hear when
Yeah, may I listen?
right.
May I listen? May hear it no, but may I listen on the next platform earlier before me join your one.
Mm-hmm.
Jamaica in a serious trouble, you know.
A serious trouble this.
Them lawyer is where you see now like a communist thing. No, there's no check and balance. Nobody, Nara is just a free.
You know, I go through. If I don't try to push it,
anything them want to do.
no, the opposition going to have to work, go struck it down in the court. Because I know the court, any of this go before the court, it must struck down. Too much nonsense in this law. So that's the
It's
only.
worse than it is, you know.
It wasn't where the opposition have to do. Them a take brute force and the majority and pass it. I mean, know if the opposition can go to court at any time. But they have to go to court and block this Naira bill.
Yeah, them have to go to court and block it because, like I tell you, them can any community in a Jamaica Naira seem so them need that community for whatever reason. Them can just take it.
And that they want. And then not include land agent. They not include the land agency or nothing in it. So who
no land agency, no NHT. If Nara deem your community, that them need to do something else.
One CEO and then have no governing body. No executive, but a CEO.
And them say them shortlist about 5 names. But it sounds like Andrew himself want to be the CEO.
Then who else you think he want to be CEO?
You see me? So them shortlist 5, and that's how I hear on the program before me join yours, them say them shortlist 5 names to be the CEO. But the person in the box with that talk on that live, I say it sound like Andrew already going to put himself as the CEO.
And that's him I do.
So Andrew free for take any community. Nobody not safe enough.
No, that's because you see why am I pass the, you know why am I pass the Naira bill? I say the whole aim is for the compound place.
For the compound, you might find any because the documents where the Maroons them have with the British, it's solid in a court and him couldn't get it that way. So he might try come in with Naira now. If we go take a Maroon town
and
whichever land them want.
Any land
your community. Say they are all labor, and them say, all right, you know what we need. That section there, all labor for bill, a casino.
Mm-hmm.
Them can just use Naira and just displace all like people. Them and say, not for leave. We use Naira and take the whole of this all labor. Any community in the country, no one is safe, you know.
It ain't not happen down there. There's people that would rise up this time though.
When I hear upon the platform before me, a communist country, you hear them biller, you hear them liar,
yeah.
Communist place. No oversight. The CEO just free for do what he want to. Any land he want, him just take it.
But wherever go sign another country, ever hear them kind of madness there? But I must tell you one thing, I must give Marley, I was listening a little part of Marley, make herself a fine her. She did give me find back Marley in Malawoford. She said something that she said, what the bill want to achieve is good. I'm listen to what Damien Crawford say.
To members of the committee. So this is where I became quite worried. The minister may appoint a committee to examine the report to the minister on any matter arising out of or connected with any of the authority's powers, duties under this act. Now, I didn't understand from that Prime Minister if this was a single board or if at any time he needed information, he could have then moved forward to make a new board. So if he was going to consider tourism, he could make a tourism board. And if he was going to consider agriculture, he could make an agriculture board. And then the next clause suggests that they can be remunerated, not volunteer, that you could pay these boards to look at those things. And we felt that that would have been a problem. There was a sworn to secrecy.
Exactly.
I won't delve too far in it, but I also felt that it didn't facilitate the whistleblowers act within the conversation of secrecy. I warned you already and you're still. Yes, right? There was a limited facilitation of the whistleblowers act, but it will be dealt more fulsome by a colleague of mine. The ministry may give direction or authority. In this case, it says that the minister, in the interest of effective performance by the...
Do you want to see your house or any other place through satellites outside the Earth? That means if there is a car...
And so first of all, NARA should implement nothing until it's approved by cabinet. But the minister can intervene and tell NARA enough about do what it decided to do at any given time. In fact, it says that the minister that the authority shall act in compliance with any direction given.
You say we are going to top talk, but we still have to come talk. We can't top talk. That's why they want if you don't get silent. We can't get silent. Yeah, they may say Michael Manley are bringing the communists. They say I want bringing communists under style now. I hope they say who are bringing the communists now under style. Go ahead, man, sir.
You're the section you're sworn to, that they would be sworn to secrecy, and if them there's a here upon the platform there's a certain time in prison you would get if you break the secrecy.
What?
That me and you upon the platform a while ago, Jen. And that's why I come over here and see if I eat and talk about it.
We have to go listen to what something.
You see, they may mention something about sworn to secrecy. And that part that they might discuss on the next platform a while ago too, you know?
Oh yeah, I can finish playing Damien and I might hear something more where I said then. Hold on.
Even under subsection 1. And subsection 1 said the minister may give direction to the authority. So therefore, anything that the minister tells the authority to do, the authority should then act in that way. And we believe that that is a little bit confusing, because on one standard, the authority could do as it saw fit, and on the other standard, it was actually going to give that permission.
Oh my
Within
God,
it indicates that the entity could be instructed almost by NARA to actually carry out a duty. And if that duty wasn't carried out, Mr. Speaker, then they could send up that authority up to the minister and ask for the minister to grant that approval to the entity. So to that extent, it indicates here that the minister could then step in at any time. Now, before we move to the minister's ability to step in, we also found that the projects under NARA seemed extremely wide. Now, for example, the hospitals that were mashed up, I didn't hear them in this, but I presume they would be in it. But then how would the Victoria Jubilee, the KPH, be under NARA? Now, if it is that we say that the procurement is a problem and we want to change procurement, then we'd have to, NARA is now doing everything that they want to do. Now, because of the lobby efforts of the minister from West Kingston, I could say, well, maybe this is resilience, because if there was high emergency, we could need a hospital like that. But how then the parliament fit into NARA? Under what resilience or reconstruction could the new parliament be a NARA project? That seems to be an overextension of what NARA should do and should be doing. And I think that is the reason why there was no sunset date for NARA. Because while it was indicated that NARA should last for 5 years, for some reason within this bill we could find no date for NARA to end. So any project over time that you want to put in, you can claim that this should go under NARA. And I believe that is a problem moving forward. It indicated that they could give directives. An approving entity shall cause an application for approval or other input to be dealt with in compliance with the terms of any directive issued by the authority. So what it's saying is that if it is that there is an approving entity and the authority gives it an instruction, then that had a duty to carry out the authority's instruction. And if they didn't carry out the instruction, then the authority could complain to the minister. But the authority, before complaining to the minister, would then have to get a private entity to review what the government entity was already reviewing, so as to take the private entity's opinion to the minister.
Complicated.
No, don't be fooled by the person behind your prime minister. He has indicated that if an entity is in disagreement with the authority should seek to validate its disagreement by employing all right. They can proceed with consideration of an application for approval where the approving entity may otherwise delay or decline to process the application solely on the basis that the approval or the input from another approving entity is yet to be granted or given. Relying on approvals previously granted by the approving entity for standardized design or pre-approval, they can seek to modify or make exceptions for zoning requirements, make decisions on the application for the approval of other inputs. It indicates, therefore, that to address non-compliance, the authority shall not make application for a step-in, they call it, without first obtaining independent expert advice on the matter. So what did we say that was different? What did we say that was different? No, but well, are you saying it's a good thing or that what I said was
Member. You don't have much time left, so focus on your presentation, member.
Where does the crossing that come from? You're not sure.
In this game, you can't die, but it's actually insanely hard. I hit buy and grab a pile of swords. The first 100 levels don't even count as gameplay. They just unlock.
Mr. Speaker, as was indicated, and I'm proud of you, you're asking it well. As was indicated, the authority shall not make an application for a stepping without A, first obtaining independent expert advice on the matter. Now one can easily see the cost that will incur moving forward, right? Now, I guess money is of no moment. Then, without obtaining, and then B, unless the authority is satisfied that on the consideration of...
All right, we'll start again what I'm saying. Go ahead, man, sir. Go ahead and talk. I can't make them one talk. But you understand what I'm going with NARA. Everybody on the platform will not listen what the government want to implement in Jamaica. Go ahead, man, sir.
Give me a minute, Jet. Now I'm going to bit.
Alright. When you type in a comment, when I understand what the bill, when I understand it. Tell me if you don't understand it. Man, I say my good. I finish without Damien's statement. I don't need to listen to them something here, you know. Oh. Me know no love excitement and then something about this is more than excitement right
The
now.
advice referred to in the paragraph A exists. So we see that as a major concern. Additionally, Mr. Speaker, is that if I was the lawyer for the procurement process, I would say I have multiple evidence that procurement is not as guilty as we're seeking to make procurement. This entire bill seems to suggest that procurement is the chief hindrance on the capacity to implement. If we look at our current situation with Spark program, for example, which have already passed procurement, which have already been granted in contract, the level of inefficiencies continue. Indeed, we have seen just in the last conversation over the budget that Spark, which was to end in 2027, have indicated that it now end until 2030, and that funds that were supposed to
You have to turn off the mic. Turn off all other mic, please. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. The member speaking is misleading the House. Spark, based on all documents submitted to the House, is a contract-bound program that ends in the next financial year, not 2030. And he needs to provide evidence to say that Spark is ending in 2030.
Mr. Speaker, there's an unfortunate habit that has evolved for us to wantonly disrupt each other. Now, if the minister wanted to say that he hasn't spoken as yet, he can say that after. However, the book that was published by the government called the Estimate of Expenditures indicated that they would have been spending for Spark up to the 40 billion up until 2030. Yes. He was asked about that and he himself responded. So I do not know. The minister also indicated in answering the question that he presumed it might have been a mistake. Right? And that he would get back to us, for which he did not get back to us. So the fact of the matter is that the estimate
Mash them up there, man.
Yes, of expenditure. Yes, and I'm reclaiming my time. So no problem, no problem. Mr. President, Mr. Speaker, I believe that as is, the bill introduced great risk. It introduced great risk of bottleneck being transferred to NARA. It introduced great risk of corruption being masked.
Corruption. The corruption bill.
It introduced great risk.
Corruption bill.
Small investors may be at the back of the line because of the duty of prioritization within entities that already claim that they have overstaffed, understaffed realities. It includes many risks because it creates expectations that may not be likely to be executed within the public. And it creates many risks because it puts within a single individual a certain level of authority. We on this side are of the opinion that anything that is necessary should be done for our reclamation, for our rebuilding, for our re-engaging of the people and our economic activity. However, we also believe, as I agree with the leader of the opposition, that we should have a conversation, a more fulsome conversation of what NARA should look like by having a joint select committee. Thank you, Mr.
Boy. I don't know what to say. Honestly, Me dumb. Go ahead, man, sir.
In the coming days, people can follow up on TikTok as is a TikTok another page me I was listening to earlier with this thing. More information will come out about it. This sound like something where a communist country, a kind of law where a communist country would come in with.
A one-man band.
You know, so
A one order.
a one order is like a one order thing.
A one order gangster.
You're free to do everything. And it's going to be any land, even though you have your title, I say you own this land, the Nara thing can take it away from you. Take it away from you and no compensation or nothing. That's how we hear upon the platform, the next platform a while ago.
Where's the Fergie?
When them go through.
Go ahead. Continue, man, sir.
Where Fergie there? Fergie gonna come up in our box, man. Cause you're more, we understand it, but when me hear, me not like when me hear at all, it sound like some communist bill.
Me not like it none at all. I'm a scamming bill.
Like a China right stand game or something, cause
I must say China right here and give him for true. Look how talk about Michael Manley one kind communist, and look who want bring it in our country now strategically. That anything them say stand. And that's exactly.
And the part is, sorry, John, go ahead.
Go ahead, man, you go on.
And the part where say secrecy, and if you break the secrecy, how much year in a prison you can get?
That's communism.
Yeah? How the country get the chance to get rid of this money after 10 years, them watching man see how the man wreck the country, them get the chance to get rid of this man and turn the page and put back Jamaica up on the right track. And the people them give the man basically more power, make the man free for do what he want to do right now. Nara, we have the works agency already. We have NHT. If his plan was to really redevelop the areas that got affected by the hurricane, if that was his real plan, we already have the works agency.
And an hurricane
we have
plan.
NHT. And an hurricane.
An hurricane plan.
From me hear about it the other day, this Nara thing, about 2 days ago, me hear about it, me say something behind it from me, say, Andrew, push this thing as so Nara. Something is behind it.
I want to push it
we
fast.
already have the works agency.
I want to push it fast too.
I want to push it fast. You kind of some serious trouble.
Yeah.
You can't vote him out, you know. You can't vote out a dictator, you know. We don't see that every dictator I see around the world when the people them forget rid of them. And vote them out. Them have to rise up and get them out, force them out. That's every dictator where you see around the world when them get rid of them. You can't vote them out because the dictator will always change the rule and do everything to stay in power like what Andrew do. In September, both telecommunication company, the Wi-Fi service went down when the votes were counting. Never in the history of Jamaica we see that. Both communication, Digicel and Flow, the Wi-Fi service go down when the counting take place. Never. You can't vote him out. You can't vote out a dictator. He might go change the rule in a St. Catherine, the Terrelang and Price. How much? 900 spoil ballot.
900.
Never in the history of Jamaica.
Never in the history of Jamaica.
You tell me said 900 Jamaicans in a Portmore don't know for mark a X beside either the head or the bell.
And they used to know for mark it before, but this time they don't know.
Exactly, but this time they don't know for do it. A dictator will always change the rule and you cannot vote him out. And the man consolidating power.
Yeah, all right.
They might try to force Nara now to take on the land. Any community in Jamaica where him need the land to do something. either for build a casino or do some kind of development. Him just come telling us, say, yo, we not get notice. Find somewhere go. Him not even have to pay you, That's how we're in a Naira.
On a Naira, I'm not
going
going
to
to
pay you for your land,
On a Naira, I'm not going to pay you.
Him not have to pay you. On a Naira, I'm not going to pay for your land. This I want to vote back for,
Fergie, good night.
Yeah, good night. Good night, Mansa. Good night, everyone. Mansa, I was writing that in the YouTube comments. It's basically an overreaching bill to make all the ministries be weak. Like they're mute. They have no say. So the ministries would basically have no power. All power would be consolidated to Nara. And basically, it's a dictatorship. It's not even communism. That's a dictatorship. Basically, all power into one. Communism, at least there is shared gains, across the board for everyone. But this is purely a dictatorship. That's what is being created. And FYI, like I said before, Auntie Jen, I wrote it, that's 6.7 billion US dollars, that's borrowed money. That's not grant money. So guess what? Jamaicans will have to pay that money back.
Yeah.
So you're going to become like Haiti. Like remember under the Duvaliers? Right? Remember what happened to them? And where is Haiti right now? After the Duvaliers.
Point Fergie, because I forgot about the 6.8 billion US dollar where them borrow.
Okay.
That's a loan,
That's a loan.
Back, So if your grandchildren right now will have to pay back that 6.8 billion dollar where Andrew Holiness them go borrow.
Yeah.
For this Naira thing.
Yep.
US dollar. 6.8 billion US dollar.
Yep.
Your grandkids, if they're not born yet, just know so them owe money for pay back that. They won't pay back that. We are going worse than 80.
Yep.
Exactly.
But did they give a point as to why they made up this Naira bill? That's where I'm trying to, like, how did this come about? Like, why would you come up with this bill?
We have control of everything. It's a one-man thing, a man around.
Yeah, but I don't, even if
Yes, it's true, because Mark, they now submit to the Republican thing. He might use another way for strategically bring in what he want to bring in. Because we not hear all our in a bill yet,
Oh.
So I might use Naira as a strategy, typically, for many different reasons. Capture land. Nobody can ask nobody. So them a bill setting they can't ask nothing about how the hospital down there are done and how the money spent and the CEO and secrecy. And what kind of nonsense this Andrew sit down in there? A nightmare of
No, it's all of them. It's all of them, Auntie Jen. I wouldn't even put it on him alone. It's all of them. It's probably the people, the power people behind him. I wouldn't put it, I honestly wouldn't put it on him, but it's the power people behind him. And not even the other MPs, because they're not that smart. But it's the money people who are propping him up. Whoever those money people are, we probably don't know. Those are the ones who are putting it in his head. It's not the other MPs. It's not them. They're not smart enough to do that.
I agree with you, Fergie. It's not the other MPs. It's the people backing him. And those people backing him, the money people, might not even be Jamaicans.
No, I'm sure they're not. Nope.
They're not Jamaicans.
They're not Jamaicans. Nope.
And I've been saying Andrew working for outside forces for come up with a bill like this. Andrew work for outside forces. And now work for the Jamaican people. The people get the chance. No, yo. Jamaican has some serious. Mark goal enough. I'll carry go to court.
Them a carry to
You
court.
have to go all the way to the Privy Council.
We have to carry a
Them have
court.
to
We have
carry
to
to
struck it
court.
down. We have to struck it down like needs.
This is a dictator bill list. It is worse than needs.
Yeah, we have to struck down
The
this
man
one.
can even take away your land and not even pay for your land. Him can tell us, say, yo, we want the whole harbour. And him just use Naira and say, we have to leave. Eviction. Send eviction notice. And him not going to pay on the phone land either.
Nope.
Him will control every single thing in the country.
Yeah. That's what I want to do. You know what happen though, you know?
I pray not. I pray. I just keep praying that, you know, the divine intervention actually steps in this time and help that country. Because if that bill passes, I'm telling you, Auntie Jan, I'm selling my house. I'm closing my bank account. That's it. I'm done. Goodbye. Good luck.
$6.8 billion them borrow for this Naira thing. $6.8 billion US dollars. You have to go pay about that money. Your kids have to go pay about that money. Your grandkids, them if they're not born, it have to go pay about that money. That's what the debt where Andrew put the country in the right now.
Yep.
Oh my God. We have to go take things in our hand, you know.
But you know what though, Auntie Jen? I don't even know if the country is even paying attention. Because if you're a minister of what? Energy and transport come out and tell you guys, oh, you're gonna have to go back to COVID-19 sort of restrictions because of the gas bill, and people not realizing that they took away the caps that these gas stations can put on people. Come on. And no one's upset about. I heard this past weekend some places in Portmore ran out of gas.
Yeah?
Yes. Yeah, one of our good friends live in Portmore.
Well.
And no one took to the streets?
We never hear about it. To be honest, we never hear about it. But water them down.
Because you see, we have an extension on the ceasefire, right? Another one is happening.
And that's what I'm seeing you.
But the Strait of Hormuz is closed. It is still closed.
It's still closed?
Yes.
But Trump nice and control it.
He does not control it. It is closed. 2 Indian tankers had to turn back. Because Iran started to fire on them and told them, we didn't give you permission to cross it.
So some gone down like a don't put himself in a problem when he can't come out and now.
Exactly. No one here in the U.S., across the globe, we have no idea what's going to happen. We're just sitting here waiting.
Yeah.
We're sitting here waiting. And if this war continues, all global economists have said that the globe will go into a recession, potentially a depression. So the remittance that Jamaicans will be getting from the diaspora, that will be cut. You're not getting a dime. Tourism will be down. Big time.
Big time. Because airfare will get more expensive.
It's already got expensive. In the past 2 weeks, it's got expensive.
Well, it double, the airfare double.
Yeah.
Yeah, airfare double best car. Jamaica. I don't know, we could have turned the page on Andrew September last year and put back the country on the right track. No, the man basically say, okay, well, get to do what I want right now. Because I see come out with the report and show the country say how much money I have. I can't explain it the last 5 years now. I can't get certified to the amount of money I have and cannot explain how I come by the money. And yet still so many people still come back and so the man say, all right, you give me the green light now.
Right.
The green light, so maybe green and Naira pound. No?
They have this a Naira plan before
Control
election.
every-
They have a Naira plan long time, you know. And I just since
The
they
MP
win back
them are
there.
useless, you know. The ministry them are useless, you know. You're not gonna have the and now
Yeah, they're useless.
you know?
They're useless. The ministries will be useless.
So they could have just abandoned the ministry them then.
Yeah.
Right.
And now I would control everything. There's no oversight either for how them that give out contracts.
Yeah, that's right, bright little star. I agree with you. Hell no, it not happen. Good night, Odin. So when Labour right them I say, you hear any of them on the platform with it, Mansa?
No, I just the PMP live me did book up and I listen to it and brother named Bala.
Oh,
And then
Bolo, any name.
No, there's another guy named Bala, D Bala.
If me that listen to earlier before me join Gen program and people in the box them a discuss it and I saw me hear about it.
And it's not going to change. Unfortunately.
The opposition now gonna make it happen.
No. I mean, in terms of the population. I mean, it can't be all on the opposition. I mean, they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, but it can't be all on Mark and all of them. It can't be. It has to be on the population. It has to be. And that population, unfortunately, to say this, they're not that mature in their thinking. They're not that sophisticated at all. A lot of them, not all, but there's a big majority. That's the problem.
Yeah.
They need to be in the minority. They need to be 10% of that population. 90% of the Jamaican population need to be mature enough, they need to be sophisticated enough, and they need to be educated enough. That needs to be 90%. That 10%, good luck with you guys.
Yeah.
You figure it out. But that's the problem. I think over 50% of that population is not mature, not sophisticated, and not educated enough.
I agree with you.
That's the issue.
Cheese and peace. What a wickedness. What a evil brother. I wonder when Daddy done a St. Elizabeth, I said when you hear them sitting there.
But what is his father? Is his father a farmer? What does his father do?
Most likely I'm a farmer.
Yeah, so he does his farm, he does his thing, he gets his little money, he's good, he's all right. He doesn't think about, you see, that's the issue. Okay, I'm good. I got my little money. I'm good. I got a roof over my head. Buy some water. I'm good. So he's not thinking about like, wait a second, this is gonna have some effect on the country as a whole. Not just me as a farmer, but everyone else. Not everyone is a farmer.
Fergie, you heard what I said earlier, Fergie?
No.
About a dictator You think about all the dictators that
Oh,
were in
yeah.
the world.
Yeah.
Did they vote them out? Was it the vote that took them out of office, Fergie?
No.
No,
Yeah.
you can't vote them out.
Yeah, you have to demonstrate them out.
And the people them have to come to that realization you cannot vote them out. The last election, I swore they don't stand a chance of winning after everything that came out. And Andrew them, I see video in a Montague constituency. The girl that drive down, them a thief the ballot.
I pay a thief and go on.
Eh? So you can't vote out a dictator.
Yeah, you could never vote.
People them need to get that.
If him bright and feisty.
You cannot vote him out.
No. All dictators, they either unfortunately get unalive by the people, or the people actually get them, remove them, and the U.S., someone comes in and rescue them and get them out.
I'm going to change the rule again for 2030. You might go put in the Israeli voting machine them.
Oh, yeah.
That's the way I'm going to put in for the entire 63 constituency, put in the Israeli machine them, voting machine, which already rigged already. And them I go win again.
Yep. I wouldn't be surprised.
In a September election, him try out 7 of them,
Yeah, try out 7
He
of
put
them.
7 in a 7 constituency, and the JLP wins 1-6 out of the 7, because them already rigged them box there already.
Yeah, they win 6 out in a St. Andrew.
Yeah.
Uncle Dennis got the seat.
So
They
him
put
try
one
it out
in
in a September election gone already. So the next election, them go entire 63, them already rigged them voting machine there.
Yep.
You cannot vote out a dictator. Them always change the rule and do everything for win back. You cannot vote them out, a dictator.
Me really surprised at Andrew Holiness. Me never know him have this depths of demonic attitude,
Well, Auntie Jen, when you're greedy, when you're greedy for power and money, you will go through all the depths, and that's a character flaw. That's a character flaw. You have to be a certain person, and as they would say, you would have to be a true narcissist. That you want to hold on to power. And the reason for holding on to that much power is that you can get very wealthy. That you can safeguard your family and their generations.
And then trickify window there. 2 weeks ago, he make his wife come out and do interview. I talk about how he is a people's person. When did I see interview with her?
I never watch anything with them. No. I don't pay attention. If I see their names, I turn. I don't pay attention to them, period.
You sound like me, Fergie. You know much time I scroll on him video come up and me just scroll fast past. I don't even want to hear the man talk.
No. Because it's all theatrics. It's all theatrics.
Yeah.
He should have been in theater. He really should have been. I think he would have been a great actor.
Yeah, he might be a good actor. He might be a good actor. No joke about that.
And people, if you think about history, look at where Iran is, right? 1979, they had their big revolution. And you know why? Because they had I think he was a king then, who was the king of Iran. The Shah. Yeah. Thank you, Matza. And he was doing all these back deals, backdoor stuff with, all these countries and everything like that, and suppressing people, suppressing the vote. And people were like, we're done. And they went the complete opposite way. That you need to go. Either you go, or we're going to unalive you. You have one or two options.
Yeah.
You didn't have a third option. Go or you get unalive. You and your entire family will be unalive.
Yeah.
Pick your option.
Go and talk. I'm coming one bit. Continue talk.
And they did that, and you see where they are. They went completely on the other side of the spectrum, where they're very religious. They deal with their religious laws, with the Shah, with the Ayatollahs, and that was it. And that's from 79. Even look at Cuba. I know they want to talk about Fidel being a dictator, but Batista was no good. Batista did awful things in that country prior to that revolution. And they were like, you need to go. So after a while, dictators, they will not stay their time, but then the country is no longer the country that it used to be. And that's what I fear Jamaica may go down that path.
It's really sad. It really sad the direction in which a country will go. It really, really sad. I'm not accepting that. Remember, there's power in your word. Look back at his school yearbook and see his destination. They don't care about welfare. I never expect him to be so dangerous though. I tell you the truth. Man just make it devil take him over.
There's some more than greed, you know.
Yeah.
Me don't know what is this, because you're rich already, but it's like you want to take the entire Jamaica as yours.
Yeah, they want
do whatever you want to do with Jamaica.
Yeah. Yeah.
And nobody not supposed to say anything to you. You couldn't get the Maroons them land, you couldn't get cockpit country. Because the documents with them have with them signed with the British is solid. So you couldn't get it that way. So now you create NARA where you control everything so you can take them land too.
Yeah.
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 Jamaica in a big trouble, yo.
Jamaica in a big trouble. Am I Antichrist? Now they say my Antichrist. I want to go in bed and reflect back.
People like that, no, Auntie Jen. They won't reflect. Yeah, that's nothing for them. They just want to get their power and get to where they want to and get what they want. They're not going to reflect. Because what, you're going to reflect and say, oh, I made all this money? Oh, great. Off of these people's backs? Oh, well, that's good. I fooled these folks. That's showing your character.
Mm-hmm.
He's not reflecting on this. No. Because ideally what he should have done is to sit down with the opposition leader and say, hey, I want to start this thing. And I think this thing may help, speed up a lot of the recovery efforts. These are my thoughts. They should have been like a group put together, both the opposition and the government, sit down and say, how can we structure this, that it works? And we can go to the people together. We can go in, say, one voice to the Jamaican people and say, hey, this is where we're going to have transparency. This is where we're going to have accountability. We're going to have opposition having a voice. That's the smart way of doing things. But that didn't happen.
Let me listen. Let me just listen out to the end of this. Listen to Dr. Daz.
Of all persons and estates within the same, in true Christian love and charity towards one another. Through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
No, you wrong one, my grandfather, you know. Not GIS.
Three reasons why your iPhone is always running out of storage. Stop doing this. You don't need to delete spam.
Subject to any term or condition, an application made or
Well,
submitted to the
let me take her.
authority.
For next week, the House proceedings continue. Member from Westmoreland Eastern, are you ready? Yes, no? Member from St. James, member from St. James West Central.
Madam Speaker.
Member from St. James West Central, would you like the podium?
Madam Speaker, I rise to make my contribution to this bill entitled An Act to Make Provision for the Management and Implementation of the Post-Disaster Reconstruction and Resilience Efforts consequent on the passage of Hurricane Melissa, and for resilience generally, to establish the National Reconstruction and Resilience Authority and for connected matters. The bill, when passed into law, to be cited as the National Reconstruction and Resilience Authority Act, NARA. Madam Speaker, over the years that I have been in the Parliament, my starting point in presenting on bills is usually to look at the memorandum of objects and reason. And this bill seeks to establish the National Reconstruction and Resilience Authority and a statutory framework for the efficient, coordinated, and transparent management of extraordinary time-bound reconstruction and resilience efforts to focus on building back better to withstand future climatic and geophysical events. Secondly, to create a more robust, climate-resilient infrastructure, encouraging better land use planning. Thirdly, to expedite private and public-private investment in priority sectors that address the structural economic vulnerabilities exposed by Hurricane Melissa. And fourthly, to enable growth and diversification of Jamaica's economic base. Madam Speaker, my training and experience compels me to not only look at a bill in principle, but also in detail. Because when we pass laws, we're not passing laws for the statute book. We're passing laws to be used. And constitutionally, we're passing laws for the peace, order, and good government of Jamaica. And when the laws are to be used, we have to discover the meaning or effect of words used by the Parliament. And to do so, we cannot escape analysis. Does make an approach theoretical or theatrical. We really have to analyze, because the overriding aim must always be to give effect to the intention of Parliament as expressed in words used.
Wow.
And so the task of ascertaining the intention of Parliament, it demands an understanding that the intention of Parliament is an objective concept. It is not subjective. When we refer to the intention of Parliament, which is really to understand what it is that we're passing, this is to something that is objective and what we can reasonably impute to Parliament in respect of the language used. It is not the subjective intention of the minister or other persons who promote the legislation, nor is it the subjective intention of the draftsman or of individual members or even a majority of individual members of either house. And so there is no escaping looking at what the words say and what we draw.
Okay,
Madam
Betty,
Speaker,
understand.
this bill, as the Prime Minister has said, is the most consequential piece of legislation that is to be passed. And he invited all of us to approach the consideration of the bill seriously. And so, we can't really rush it too much, even though time is of the essence. And I have a full appreciation of what the Prime Minister is seeking to achieve. I do not believe that anyone who has spoken has taken issue with the goals that are being pursued. But the concerns are whether the bill in its form will achieve those goals.
Opposition, them a clap, Marlo.
Madam Speaker, the authority is to be constituted according, the clause 3 establishes the authority, and it tells us how it is to be constituted in accordance with the schedule. Now, some have taken issue with whether there is going to be a board or there isn't going to be a board, and the Prime Minister in his presentation indicated that we have other models in the jurisdiction where there is no board, and that is true. Under the Town and Country Planning Act, for example, there is provided for a planning authority, a Town and Country Planning Authority, and under that act, and this is an act of 1958.
So I'm going back to them, the all mother act.
3.1 tells you that for the purposes of the
when she said it will produce, if it will in the form that it is in, if it will really work. So deep in her conscience, she knows there's some error there.
Right, she knows. I mean, she's not stupid. I will totally say that. She's not a foolish woman.
She knows.
At all. Yeah.
Andrea try an alibi thing, forget by. And I see this I got in the courthouse very much.
Yeah, they're gonna take it to the court.
And if they lose it, I got Privy Council.
So it won't come to pass because it's gonna take forever.
It's not gonna come to pass right now. So they have to use what they have in place now and fix up a road them and do what they do.
Oh, Auntie John, I just want to say Vion Miller wrote about Andrew's yearbook. I just looked it up. Wow, they're right. So his ambition in his yearbook was to become a politician, and yeah, his destiny is to be unalived by one of his enemies. Yeah, I just looked it up. But who writes that they want to become a politician? Did you? No one ever writes they want to become a politician in high school.
I don't know of it.
Like everyone wants to be a doctor, a singer, an entertainer, lawyer. Like that was far from. In my yearbook, I don't think I have anyone who wrote that they wanted to be a politician. That's like the last place you want to go.
Yeah.
He figured out how to get money real quick by stealing is to become a politician. So he figured that out really early. And yeah, you're right, Fergie. That was his ambition to become a politician, and that he would be unalived by a friend.
Wow.
Yeah, I heard about it a couple of years ago. That's what he wrote in his yearbook.
So that means our own party, I will take him out then.
Yes, I guess if him prophecy right, fingers crossed.
Because he's not their type. Let's be honest. Let's truly be honest about this. He's not really their type.
Look what we're not the right one name. See, I know one day I go take him out.
He's not their type. He's not, like, let's face facts. He's not their type. He didn't go to the top schools. He didn't go, like, he is not their type. And I think that's why they're upset with Mark Golding, because Mark Golding is their type.
Yeah, yes, Betty, I'm not gonna let go. I not give them nobody over there for getting a ruler, and he not give up Jamaica.
No, Betty Ann is right. He's not their type.
Oh, Juliet.
Let's be frank. He literally should be on the PMP side based on his background.
Wow.
Mark should be on their side based on his background. Right? A wealthy, ethnically white Jamaican, went to the best schools that money can afford, a capitalist, a lawyer. Like, Mark should be over there. He should be over on the PMP side. Coming from a poorer background So he's not really their type. But the thing is that I give him credit for is that he built a story around his persona that makes him the most popular out of all of them.
Hold on, somebody that call. Let's see what that. So the guy just saw me in the ear, you know. Hello, good night.
How are you, Auntie Jen?
I'm good.
You're live?
Yes, I'm live.
I just want to say something quickly here.
Yeah.
Do you think if it was a PJ Patterson, a Portia Simpson Miller, Juliet Holiness could have sitting at the parliament and abused someone? Do you think so?
But,
do you think if it was one of them leader there, this woman would have abused her at the parliament?
But Paul will fix her today, though.
That's not. This woman, it's bad. The opposition, come on. This would never happen on a Portia Simpson Miller administration or PJ Patterson. She could never be in there. She's rude. This woman have problem bringing on him yard.
every day.
This woman I need to fix in, man. This people, young people watch the parliament. This is much Putin that die. It's what coming from top. This what the example setting from top.
Mm-hmm.
Jamaica need cleansing, man.
Agree.
Jamaica need cleansing.
We need.
Jamaica need. This, I'm going to say it, this criminal organization, because this is not a government. Because the Prime Minister lost the cabinet a long time. He can't remove nobody, he can't shuffle, he can't talk to nobody. It's a free-for-all.
Yeah.
To this lady, I'm not discriminating you, where you're coming from. But you said, in a market you usually sell. And you come to something. And this is the end result. You like to remember where you're coming from. That's like when I go fall. You guys don't remember where you're coming from. You're not go successful in where you're going. Lady, you're wrong. Lady, I don't think you have kids. The way you live, I don't know if you have kids, lady. It's a shame. You're the first lady. You behave like a hooligan. You behave like you're in some lady go fix a relationship in your yard. Something not right. Something not right. This is a disgrace to the parliament, woman. This is a disgrace to the parliament.
I hope she listen and I hope she hear.
I hope she is a disgrace. I cannot believe that this lady have 2 kids. No. This lady in a temper. Hey, this lady don't smile. You never see this lady and she has a happy smile, a happy face, they have so much money. They have so much, it's like the money not enough for them. It's a disgrace what's going on in the parliament. I mean, no DLP people, some of them do not like what's going on with the parliament with that woman here.
You look bad, man.
And then hear from his mouth. She's a bully. She's a bully. I him run the house. And she always run the house. I she run the house, man.
That's she
it's
running.
a disgrace to see what the parliament come to. And I say it again, I'm going to say it again, this could never happen on a Portia Simpson. That's why they never like Portia Simpson. But Jefferson Gold is too soft. Too at them command. And nothing wrong with that. But Mark can do some colors.
So when you take, so hold on. So hold on. So how we explain so Mark can hear what you want him to do in the parliament.
I mean, put him as a leader. I need to demand respect in the party. Then what Mark is that in there? Mark is too off, man. Mark not with get out something. Send some people to do it. It's time for the PMP. I hear PMP. That was a shame. The Prime Minister, may I beg you, please, like, may I beg you to come. Beg what? Demand it. It's a shame, Mr. P. A shame that they lost their voice. Since the party was vibrant and outspoken. And you know, if you're the leader of a party, that's what people follow. Mark Gold is a soft man, so everybody gets soft.
Anyway, hold on though, but I tell you, I not really bash my leader on my platform. I not say I can't criticize him, but I not like it.
I'm a PMP, but I'm starting the truth.
Yeah, but I tell you, so my platform, I start to run it a little different. I not too like that. In my view, I think he might try. All I know, he might try do what he can do. Him up against a bully, and him not a bully type of person. But trust me, and he may not act aggish like the rest of them, but him know the law. And I can tell you, say, anyway, him to take them a court and deal with them, he might deal with. And can't get up in there. Can't follow them, adapt them one with you, know, act like them, you know. I'm favor, and then we see what I say. Boy, me never expect that from Mark. Look how he make it woman a dry him out. We see him and criticize him and I say we don't expect that from him.
All I'm saying, man, Mark don't have to do it. Mark has strategy can do it. You guys out there,
You don't have to. We're too silent. And a downfall. We're too silent. We're too timid. We're too timid as a PMP. And everything with PMP, I said, we have facts. I don't make up stories, man. It's there.
But you can't take control to and go do your part, you know. As a PMP too. Anyway, you say the weakness is, you can put it in the strength, you know. You know, it's
a good point. I'm a lot, man. I'm telling you, I have connection, I have talk. I have a lot. Listen, it's full time. We stand up in this country. We have a criminal prime minister. Cannot be certified for 4 years. And I heard I see you do a look of podcast on Dennis. I don't know him. But if the prime minister can't come here, him asset and why a pressure one little man with.
No, that is a problem, though. I tell you, we can't align up ourselves with them like criminality, you know, brother. Then that's why some people say they not vote because the two parties are the same. And if we are going to have that type of disposition to make the people then say so we and them equal together, then it don't make no sense. So if we are going to say, boy, so that the man not do it, this one you can do it, then where we are head? Where we really ahead to? What better meant we are head for?
I totally agree with what you said. Them who are sanctioned to come to Parliament, to come a committee meeting, them not have the right. They don't have the right to do it. So if we are balancing book, we'll balance the book both ways. A balancing book, make we balance the book the both ways. So the PMP must abide by the laws and the rules. But the ruling party not abide by the laws and the rules. How many of them are under investigation? How many of them are under investigation?
Let me just say, give a little word of encouragement. You know, sometimes make we exercise a little bit more patient because it's going to crumble, you know, brother. You ever hear one old time saying, say every day bucket a go well, one day the bucket bottom must drop out and everything crash? Always say them are going with, I go crash. Remember me tell you that.
I understand what you're saying.
So make we just bear. Listen, make we just exercise a little bit more patient and just watch God and time work. I mean, how we feel, you know, we want to see it happen right away. But sometimes, make we exercise like a patient. We see when I go up on the platform, I'm sorry for them.
It's when you see going on, the parole, I don't really case can try. It's sad. I say to people, the PMP are corrupt. They must go to prison because you have the standing order, protocol to know that you don't touch this, don't touch that. So if PMP is involved, they must go to prison, man.
That's
the only way to make out clean up, you know? That's it. Jamaica is going to be clean. It's sad. It's sad when the Parliament come to. But that Jamaica couple, and I'm.
Yeah, break up. You're funny.
People make me cry. Them hungry. People hungry. People hungry. Nothing. Hungry before stop like sandpiper beard. I've never seen in a long time.
Exactly,
time. Who said, Jesus, I know God gonna send somebody to me. He said, from man, he said, from last night in the heat. As me I thought your tears come out of my eye. It's hard, it's rough down there. It's rough. The government gets so much money from donate and then get so much borrow so much money. God. As you hear me talking, man, tears coming from my eye. Can't believe that Jamaica. Cannot. It's rough. Rough. I tell you, tears come from me. People hungry. Me go to the supermarket. Then say, son, they say, don't give me the money. Buy the food for me. Me hungry. And the Prime Minister say, everybody at work. It's a sad. It's a shame. Look what we come to as a nation. And we sit down seeing we, not care what them do. We sit down seeing we can't call antigen, ask to go get them. No care. That's the problem. And one solution can, if diaspora can't see the money, you then get up and say the government not do nothing for them. Long time. Sad. It's sad.
Yeah.
People are living. I enjoy your program, man.
All right.
Wonderful job. Keep on doing it.
Thank you.
God bless you.
All right. Have a good night. Hello, good night. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, before you're ready for the sleep, because you make time already to pass.
Yeah.
And this, you know, me love eat to the very core of this here. Much pushy people in a PLP too much low, you know.
You break up, man. Your phone line a break up. Your phone line a break up. Should change your position.
Push me. Can you hear me better?
Go ahead now, myself, my ear better. Go ahead and talk.
I said too much. You hear me?
It's still a break up. I don't know why. Go ahead now, myself, it over.
You hearing me better?
Talk, but myself it better.
Miss Kerry, you look like you're ready to go sleep because near your bedtime. You hearing me better?
Yeah, man, I run over time. Well, I'm going to lay down. But go ahead.
So you hear me better then?
Yeah, I hear you better now.
So me love PNP to the very core, but trust me, too much Chris people in a PNP, man. The PNP side have too much Chris and push people. Then
so what the problem I ask you, I don't want to see PNP behave like a Labour right then. That's what we want?
They're not to behave like Labour right, they're just too stush.
But what they want? So what you want them for though?
Them too Christmas, they need to speak up come more.
You know, so say hooligan them up again. Any talking else?
Yeah. So them continue to stay because they're not hooligan.
No, everything over here, you know. You know, say all of Juliet behaving in Parliament today. And they have the aggish bad ways. Me don't want to see my party behave like that. I see them start to behave like a Labour.
Sometimes.
Anyhow, me see them start behave like a Labour right then. Me not come here and chat nothing about them. Cause that's why me choose them. Because me expect.
Me never know me to reach this stage in my life to speak like this.
No,
never.
no.
So at the end of the day, she and just don't come make walk by you. You have to do something what they want to do.
So let me answer. Because me hear everybody. Me see all one brother where say used to blood with the same thing at our Mark too, sir. What Mark going for to Andrew?
Listen up, me not none there, me just say sheep them need to step up a little bit more and too quiet.
But me ask you what them for do. But if you can't, no, if you are criticized, tell me how you want them for acting in Parliament. But there must be something. There must be something that you want to see them do that they are not doing. And you need to speak it out so that if them are listening here.
And then just too quiet, they need to speak a bit more.
So alright, so if they're too quiet, that means they must make noise in a...
What if I make noise? Because everybody make noise, why they can't make noise?
So what result will we get from it?
The rest of people that look like them will get result.
We know sometimes emotion run away with us and we say, boy, them too soft than this. But them in the Parliament, they're smart, you know.
Me get tired of them, they're too quiet. And things are get on.
I'm not taking nobody else tonight. Sorry, 1 minute. The person will send me invite me at the end of the program now. Here, tomorrow night you can join in.
Me sorry, me have to say this. So stop go off of social media and leave them alone. But to my nerves there right now.
Oh.
Anyway, go back to class.
Yeah, man. All right.
Tired of them.
Yeah. So, Fergie, Fergie, you gonna sleep?
No, not yet.
All right.
I'm
So
about
you're not here where people are saying the PNP too soft and them not this, them not that. What do you think the PNP should do what they not do?
I love my PMPs because they're quite passionate, and when they get passionate, they will go there. That's why I love them. But they also have to understand there's a certain conduct that needs to happen in Parliament, right? And just on a side note, Mark Golding was part owner of one of the largest investment banks, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the first investment bank in that country. You don't get there by being just so nice, right?
No.
At the end of the day.
No.
There's going to be decisions that he and Bunting will have to make that will not be so nice because they're business folks.
And the other one near Crystal.
Right, daring.
Mm-hmm.
So don't assume that his mild demeanor and soft-spokenness is a sign of weakness. And especially a man like Mark, who is a trained attorney, who had to go and negotiate deals and win deals and get deals, that because he's soft-spoken, he can't win. Don't assume that. Sometimes the most soft-spoken person in the room, or the quietest person in the room, sometimes is the most deadliest person.
Yes, it's true.
In
We come from a culture in Jamaica we used to that's the type of culture we have. So because we
I know.
Yeah, so we say a man sack. If you get up in there now and cuss too bad or hear me saying telling some bad or this man.
But that's not his style, and that's not his personality.
Not at all.
And we don't want him to change his style or his
I don't want
personality.
it to go down to the level of the labor right them neither.
Right. And the members that they do have some in there that are, look at Anthony Hilton.
Mm-hmm.
If you listen to him, he can be quite snarky in Parliament, but very soft-spoken. Very soft-spoken. And he will mess them up. Because I've listened to him several times. I'm like, wow, you literally just messed up what they're planning to do. Mm-hmm. Like you just basically told them their stuff is it's not good, but in a certain way. And he's also a trained attorney. So it might be the fact that these are trained attorneys and this is their style. Because they have to go before court, they have to argue, they have to make their case in a certain style. So don't assume because he's soft-spoken, he's speaking proper English, that he doesn't know what he's doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he knows what he's doing. And sometimes there are traps being laid, but he just won't show you his hand. The others show you their hand. So it makes it easy to lay traps for them. Because how many times did he have to correct some of those ministers with their legislative language right in Parliament that they had to take a time out to go change it or reconsider it?
And you see people now look on that. If him up in there, see, I like when Juliet mechanized now. Juliet now got change her ways. I did say it one of the times, saying if back at her. But every day my come out, a Parliament come back.
Right. So if he barks at her, then it gets loud, then nothing gets done.
And then the same Jamaican people, they might come down and say, oh, him not have respect for female.
Okay. Remember what the Toad said, he doesn't like black females.
Exactly.
When the man is clearly married to a black Jamaican. Not even just a black female, but a black Jamaican woman. So remember that. Oh, he doesn't like females. I forgot who he questioned. And the Toad came out and said that the other day. And I'm like, what? This doesn't make any sense. So he will always be criticized, no matter what.
No matter what.
So if he's loud, even when when he gets upset, he just walks out. Right? He picks up his stuff. And Paul just steps to the side and he just walks out.
Let me tell you, Jamaica people love bad out cussing here.
I know, but hey, they can't do that in Parliament because that will get you censured. So that can't be. And he knows how far he can go, and he does it in a very respectful way. We don't want the party to look like them, because then it will be one of the same parties.
It's
right?
a party. We're gonna be like, we can't all look like them. And cussing out and carry on have nothing to do with Andrew Holness, because I'm not care.
Right. So he doesn't care. So he's like, whatever. But then on our side, and FYI, we have a bunch of new ones. They haven't been in there that long. It's their first time. It's their first time in that Parliament. Even the old guards are not like that. Like Paulwell or even Robinson or Bunting, or they don't act like that. And they were under Portia and Phillips.
Yeah,
they don't even act like that.
So what?
But that's all I have to say.
No. So before you go though, so to those who say them need to talk out more, what you say to them?
All I would just say, be calm. I get it. I know PMP. I get it. I know us. When we get mad, people are saying stupid things. We want to jump down and jump through them. But sometimes you just have to be calm, cool, collected, and just get your point across in a respectful manner. Make them look crazy. Make them look, like they have no sense. And if that's what the country wants, that's what the country wants. And there's nothing we can do about it. If that's what the majority of the population want, you want a bunch of people going in there acting up, acting crazy, cussing, going crazy, wanting to fight, wanting to go outside, so be it. I mean, there's nothing we can do if that's the majority. But remember, Norman Washington Manley never acted like that at all.
Neither Michael Manley, neither.
Neither did Michael Manley, neither did Portia.
Never in the Parliament. Portia will cuss when they're on the campaign trail, but nobody can say
right, but not in Parliament.
To never cuss in our Parliament.
On the campaign trail, yes, that's one thing. Yes, she's out there.
Tell them out and say, I'm not afraid of no girl, no boy, or nobody.
Right. But not in Parliament. She never acted like that in Parliament. She was very respectful in Parliament. PJ, the same thing. That's not PJ's style either.
And the funniest thing, people are talking about Mark Gully. PJ was a very cool man in the Parliament.
Yes, I watched some old clips of him in Parliament. I was like, oh, Mark is kind of like him. Mark is a little bit fiery. Mark has a little bit more fire than PJ.
Mark has more fire than PJ Patterson. But trust me, PJ Patterson is a smart guy.
Yes. The only one that had, I think what people are looking at is back in the days of Michael Manley. Like Michael Manley would light fire. Like he would, but respectfully. He wasn't, he's not cussing anyone or anything like that. But
Peter Phillips never cussed nobody neither.
No. Peter, same thing. I watched some of his clips. I'm like, oh, okay. I said Mark is the only one, because what people fail to realize, Mark would do little digs, especially when it comes to the law. basically telling them you don't even know the law. You're the government and you don't even know the law. So I'm going to teach you about the law. I'm going to tell you where you're wrong, and I'm going to tell you how to fix it. Remember, Fable had to go back and fix her legislation that she was messing up?
Nice,
That she didn't know?
Nice, I know what we want in our parliament. We want to get out Andrew. Nice, now we'll get out Andrew. Next time.
No.
What we need to do is come together as a people.
Because he'll say, oh, he's erratic. Look, he changed from this mild-mannered, soft-spoken person to this erratic, cussing man. Oh, yeah, then the narrative would change. He should continue what he's doing. He should continue. I get it. I know PMP, and I know, yes, I know us. You know.
Yeah.
Especially when these lab rats starts to spew craziness that you just want to go off on them.
Tamika has me up late. Me end now.
But yeah, Auntie Jen, I would just say they should continue. I think they're doing a good job. They're getting their points across. And you know what? They may not show you their hands right then and there in the parliament, but they'll do it through the back door. Remember with turning Portmore into a city, right? And they said, okay, go ahead. And they took it to court. And now they can't do anything. Mark said to them, we'll see you in court. And they did. And where is it now? Where's Portmore becoming a city? Where is that? That's like stalled. I'm like, I thought they would bring that back up. Right? Because I remember that, when was it, last year?
That was all about politics. Them not try that last year still, you know?
Right. Because I knew what they were doing. And Mark said, no, this isn't right. You're encroaching on different constituency here, and this needs to be thought out. No. And then they said, oh, we're voting. Oh, it's passed. And then he said, we'll see you in court. And that's all he said, and left. And where is it now? They lost in court. So we don't have to be that
And we can't go in that parliament and disgrace ourselves like a Juliet Holiness every day. We don't want to see that.
No, let her do that. That's her ammo. Let her do that. Let her and Cuthbert Finn and Warmy and all of them. Let them. That's their ammo. It works for them. Good for them. But they're not getting their point across.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
So that's all I have to say, Auntie Jen. And good night.
Yeah, good night, Fergie. Good night. Good night, everybody.
All right, bye.
Good night. Thank you for staying on tonight. Love you.
All right.
Good night over YouTube. Love you all. Catch you tomorrow if God's will. Bye.